Following the statement by Oscar PIastri that he would not be driving for Alpine, there was a bit of radio silence from all sides. But the Alpine team boss has finally broken it. And he spoke about a couple of things, from values his father taught him, to the integrity of Fernando Alonso, to the loyalty of Piastri. Stick around and we'll uncover it right here on Fervent Motorsports. So, by now you have a gist of what happened last week. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, there's a 4-minute video on our channel explaining it all. So Alpine team principal Otmar had an exclusive interview with the Spanish press company El Confidencial. It's a pretty lengthy interview, but I'm gonna take you through the main important points. When he was asked if he was disappointed with the decision that Alonso made, Otmar said that he could not be naive, but he was also a man of integrity and that if he committed to something, he'd do his best to see it through. It was something that his father taught him. He went on to mention that it was the same way that he had done business with Vettel and Perez and even Paul di Resta, but he knew that not everyone behaves in the same way. When he was asked what was the main reason that Fernando was leaving, he said that he understood it. Fernando wanted a long-term commitment, but the Alpine team were doubtful about his age. He went on to say, Schumacher at 42 was beaten by Rosberg. At 38, it wouldn't have happened. It happens to all of us. To football players, to snooker players, to cricket players. The key is how you judge the trajectory of the ball, how it boots, how you move the stick a few centimeters. And at a certain age, the players are still good, but they can't do it like when they were younger. And that's why we thought that with Fernando it was a year, plus a year, plus a year. And he wanted guarantees of more time. However, he also pointed out that Alonso and him are no different. They are both enormously competitive. Otmar remembered a moment from his childhood when his father beat him in chess and he cried with rage. He said that he knows Fernando well enough to know that when Fernando puts on his helmet, he'll do his best regardless of what team he's racing for, and that their goal until the end of the season was to cement the 4th position in the World Championship and to beat McLaren. So while Otmar was a bit more understanding of Alonso's situation, he seemed to be very annoyed, to say the least, with Piastri. He explained, "We have a contract with Piastri which he signed in November. We have spoken to our lawyers and they told us that this is a binding contract. So part of that contract allows us to ride Oscar in one of our cars in 2023, which is nothing more than the reason we issued the press release." When asked about why Piastri would not stay with Alpine, who sponsored his entire career right until Formula 1, Otmar said, "There should be some loyalty to the fact that we have invested literally millions and millions of euros to prepare him. So I don't understand it either. You should probably ask him. But above all, we must take into account last year we put a car and we did 3,500 kilometers. Only the cost of an engine is 1.75 million euros. The mechanics, the team that has to manage those tests, the flights and the trips. We spent a lot of money on Piastri to prepare him in the future. And if that future is not with us, it is logical and fair that we see compensation." But to sum it up, here's one of my favorite quotes from the interview. "I expected more loyalty from Oscar than he is showing. I started in 1989 in Formula 1 and I had never seen anything like it. It's not about Formula 1, it's about integrity as a human being. It could happen with ice hockey or football, it doesn't matter." So the team still believes that the contract is binding and that Piastri will be driving for them next season. However, if he isn't in the Alpine, Otmar believes that the Alpine seat is still one of the most valuable ones left on the grid, and he has received numerous calls to fill it in. So those were the best parts of the interview. If you're truly interested in reading the whole interview, check out the link in the description. And as always, stay tuned to Fervent Motorsports as we get you all the best news Formula 1 related.